Hey everybody, welcome to the Run Selfie Repeat podcast where we talk about life with a side of running. My name is Kelly Roberts. I am the founder of the Badass Lady Gang and the host of this here little show. It is late. Normally I try to post these episodes every single Monday, but this past weekend in real time it was the New York City Marathon and I'm just getting my voice back and I'm just coming back to life and I'm honestly still so exhausted. And as I'm recording it today, it is election day. Can you see my sticker? Where's my sticker? There's my sticker. I voted for Kamala Harris. I voted for women's rights. I voted for to protect our freedoms. I voted to protect those who need it. I voted to not raise taxes on the lower and middle classes. I for a whole multitude of reasons, mainly because Donald Trump is a vile human being, someone who has been accused of sexual assault, rape, who fetishizes. Oh my God. He loves dictators. He's a bad guy. He literally just quoted oh God, he said that immigrants are tainting our blood. Like this guy, I cannot. I am on edge today. So I'm very nervous about recording this because I'm so anxious and I'm deeply, deeply hopeful that the women show up and that America shows up. And this is the end of MAGAism. I'm deeply hopeful that after this, we never have to hear about Donald Trump ever again. But I'm tired. I feel so tired. I honestly want to take a nap right now. It is late on Tuesday, not late in the day, but I have coaching calls later. So I'm finding time to make this happen because I'm excited to talk to you about last week. It was a crazy week. It was a long week. So let's get into it. Week 9 of training. For anyone who doesn't know what's happening on the Run Selfie Repeat podcast, can I just do this with my eyes closed? I know we have a video, but I'm just going to take a nap. I'm also doing this on my couch. If you're watching this on YouTube, I just can't sit in that desk chair right now. I need to be comfy cozy. I would say I'm very comfy cozy, but it's actually 100 million degrees in my apartment. And I can't put a blanket on me because I will burst into flames. My radiator is it's probably 95 degrees in my apartment. Kelly, why are you wearing a sweater? Because I'm holding on to fall with every ounce of my being. And I can't turn on the air conditioning because we're recording a podcast and you'll hear it. So I'm going to take the L for you. Week 9. This is a little different than the normal podcast. If you've listened to other episodes, this is Project 159, my journey to try to break 2 hours in the half marathon in 3 weeks now in the Philly half. And it's 2024 as I record this. I am 9 weeks into training. Well, now 10. I'm in week 10 now, but we're going to talk about week 9. I decided last year that I kind of wanted to try to qualify for the Boston Marathon again. Not kind of, I did. So I spent the year getting back into fighting shape, getting my aerobic capacity back in a way that could possibly allow me to see if qualifying for Boston was in the cards again. So I have spent all year trying to get back to this place. And when I decided I wanted to tell everyone about it, I thought, a half marathon's a really good place to check in and train for, to figure out my actual timeline, because though my goal is to try to qualify for Boston, the Boston Marathon, and for anyone who doesn't know, you cannot just run the Boston Marathon. You either need to get in with a charity, you need to know someone. So if you have an affiliated company or, someone in government, or you need to run it. Did I say charity? Or you need to time qualify. So my time qualification time is 3 hours and 30 minutes. When I decided I wanted to do this again, it was 3:35, 3 hours, 35 minutes, because I aged up because the world is the world. 2 weeks after I announced that I was trying for BQ or bust again, they changed the time qualifiers for my age group back 5 minutes because so many people are fast. So that's cool. So next year I want to try to qualify and try to BQ again in a spring or fall marathon. And to figure out my timeline, I figured a half marathon in November would be a good place, a good 12-week short-term goal for me to work towards to get a sense of my athletic level come November, to figure out, is spring doable or is fall doable. So my race is 3 weeks away. I just finished week 9. I feel tired. My training is going well, all things considered. Last week was a lot. My mom came to visit, which was so nice to have her here, but I want to spend time with her while she's here. And I also have a weird schedule right now because I have coaching calls for Badass Lady Gang Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. So to try to save me from working like 14-hour days, because my habit is to just start working early in the morning, stop, go for a run, come back and keep working. But I'm really good about turning off at 6 when I don't have coaching calls. But because now I have these coaching calls until like 9:30ish, it's hard to turn off and it's hard to figure my schedule out. So, and with my mom here, it was just, I ended up taking more rest days than I wanted. I also had raced a 10K 2 weeks ago. So not this past weekend, but the weekend prior. And as we'll talk about in a second, I just needed some more time to recover from that. My hamstrings really felt all those downhill pushes during my speed play. So I ended up just doing 1 speed play session instead of 2 last week. Because I knew that was the right thing to do. So last week was a lot. It was a lot, friends. The good news is that wasn't peak week. This is peak week. The bad news is it's election day and the day before after the marathon, and this week is already sideways. So peak week is not going well. I am worried. I really want to have a really strong final week of training, and I'm doing my very best. I can't believe I got out today. We can talk about it next week, but like I truly I almost just went back to bed for that extra hour to take a nap because I just don't have anything in me. But for some reason, I got out there and I got my run in. So bless. Didn't do what I wanted to do, but I got something, which is a win. A win's a win, you know? So let's talk last week. We're not talking this week. We're talking last week. Last week, the goal, Monday. Here's my schedule. Monday, the goal was cross training and strength work. I ended up doing 45-minute bike ride and strength work. Proud of myself. I only got 1 strength day in last week. Not ideal. A bit of a bummer. Truly. Tuesday, 6 by a K, 1 kilometer with a 3-minute recovery. I ended up doing that workout. I woke up. My mom likes to sleep in a little bit, so she flew in Monday night. So also the time difference, I wanted to make sure that she just had time. It was also her birthday. So I got dressed and was going to go for my run. But then I was like, I don't want my mom to wake up and me not be here. It's her birthday. I want to be able to be the first one to be like, happy birthday. So I was like, well, I know I'm dropping her off at my sister's, so maybe I can just use that 1.5 hour chunk there. So I waited, just worked until she woke up. We hung around my house for 2 hours. I worked. And then I dropped her off at my sister's in here in Brooklyn, and then ran in the park. I was really flat. My legs were really tired. I could feel my hamstrings on the last 2 K repeats. K repeats is kind of like one of those workouts that really breaks you if you've never done it before. It is really hard and really challenging. And it is like famously the first time I ever like really panicked in a workout. I remember during Moonshot, the first time I ever did Project Moonshot, it was this Nike program. I had 6 by a K maybe, and I just kept getting dropped by my pace group, which it's not their job to hold on to me. Like when you're running with a group like that, like you either hold on or you don't. And I couldn't, and I got all up in my head, and I have to take my watch off because it's blowing up. My family is blowing up my watch about the election, and I can't deal with it. I'm throwing it away. I can't. I tried to hold on, and then I don't know what happened. I just got so in my head, and I ended up like walking over to the water, and then Rebecca Stowe, who is my former coach, I remember that was like one of the first times I ever talked to her. we kind of like bumped into each other. She was one of the Project Moonshot coaches and was like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "No, not really, bro." And we talked, and Stowe is so good with mindset. She's such a talented mindset coach. And she really gave me some words of wisdom and kind of reminded me, like, not every day is going to hit. And like, I would try to get to the bottom of like what just happened and why you're in your head. And let's try it again. Why don't you try it again on Thursday? And I did, and it went so much better the next time. And Dr. Bob gave me the same advice. We had chatted because I remember I called him and was like, I don't know what just happened, but like, what? And he gave me the same advice. I think you should try the workout again and kind of like throw the paces away and just go off efforts. And I did, and it went so much better. So I always kind of have that in the back of my mind. I wouldn't say I was like terrified about this workout, but there is always a healthy amount of fear when it comes to kilometer repeats because Ks are hard. They are hard. It's 0.62 miles. So it's a far way to go to interval pace. And I just like was not at interval pace. So here were my paces. For the first rep, I was holding about an 8:07 pace, 8 minute, 7-second mile pace. For the second rep, and that was like 5:04. And then for the next one, it was 5:07. So an 8:14. The next one, I did 4:55. I was able to like really clock in, and that was 7:55. So I felt like, okay, we're doing it. My heart rate was also like relatively low for these. Like I just could not find that last gear. The next one was 4:59, so 8:04. The next one was 5:11, 8:17, so starting to fall apart. And then the last one was 5:13, 8:26 pace. So the last two, I really could feel like tightness in my hamstring in a way that kind of was like, oh, that's not good. Like kind of imagine someone's like going in to touch a hot curling iron. Your instinct is to say like, don't touch that. I kind of was like, stop. We should stop. And I didn't. And luckily nothing happened. But like this is one of the things that you need to learn as a runner is when to like listen to signs that your body is giving you, when to stop, when to push, when it is the right decision to, like pull back or keep fighting, all this stuff. And so, yeah, it was probably smarter for me to stop and then do the cool down, but I just kept pushing and it was fine, but not the smartest decision. I wish I would have done differently. I think I ran a half of a mile and was like, yep, and we're done. We're definitely done. And I rode a bike home. I just felt flat. I felt tired. I felt like I really just wanted to run and I wanted to run hard. But every time I felt I wanted to click into that interval pace, like I just didn't have it. There was nothing there. And these paces are not slow. It was a hard workout. My heart rate was kind of like zone topper end. It just wasn't interval pace. This wasn't an interval pace workout. So it is what it is. I'm glad I did it. And after that, I was like, okay, definitely no second speed play day this week. My body needs some more time. So I'm going to modify that and take an extra running day, especially knowing like the New York City Marathon is this weekend and the amount of on my feet I'm going to be. I really want to prioritize the long run and getting those coins in the coin jar. So Wednesday, I had originally scheduled a 40 to 50 minute conversational pace run. I took an extra rest day. It was Halloween and I just wanted to be with my mom, and I also just wanted to give my body a break. So I took an extra rest day and felt no guilt about it. Thursday, I had originally planned to do a speed play day, 2 by 15 minutes at threshold pace with 2 by 400. So 15 minutes threshold pace, recovery, 2 by 400 at interval pace. And then again, I ended up doing a 45-minute run, time on my feet, though I flew. Like I was doing like 9:30, 9:20s, which for me is like incredibly, incredibly strong and fast. And I was like, oh, okay, wait, this feels great. And I am truly clocking and flying. Ooh, oh, so that was cool. That was a great, like my heart rate wasn't crazy high. I felt really like, it was a big fitness day. Like I was like, wow, there's my fitness. I'm moving and grooving. This is great. I feel great. I feel really, really springy. So that was cool. Nice little confidence booster. Friday, I had originally planned for a rest day, but I did a 2-mile shakeout run with Badass Lady Gang for the New York City Marathon and Adventure Time Travel, our Australia friends. Saturday, I I had a 2 hour and 10-minute workout planned, long run. And Leslie, who's one of our Bad Athletic Gang friends, and she was in town for the marathon. We ended up doing a 2 hour, 20-minute long run. So I was working with Adidas for the New York City Marathon, a very last minute deal. And I paused because I don't know if I'm allowed to share anything in my contract. So I won't. So I was going to the Shakeout Run on Saturday. So we were trying to plan the amount of time that we would need to get to the Shakeout Run in a lot for a 5K, which we thought it was 2.5 to begin with, but then it ended up being a 5K. So we ended up taking off a little later than we anticipated, like 15 minutes later. So I made a last minute. I was going to take Leslie around the Brooklyn Navy Yard, through Williamsburg, through Greenpoint, over the Pulaski, up to the Queensboro, because she really wants to run the New York City Marathon. She every year enters the lottery and is trying to get in. And I thought this will be fun for you to like run the Queensboro and a part of the course once we get to like Greenpoint. But we ended up running late, and I was like, okay, I am worried that we're not going to have enough time to run the distance, this amount of mileage before the Shakeout Run. I feel like we'll be late because I was supposed to be there at 8:45. And so I was like, well, this will be fun anyway. We'll go from my house over the Brooklyn Bridge. We'll run up the center of Manhattan. We'll fly by the Law and Order courthouse, which is just downtown in Foley Square. And then we'll fly up like Broadway. We'll cut through Union Square. We'll cut through the farmers market. We'll run up Broadway. We'll fly by the Flatiron Building. We'll go through Soho. Well, Soho was earlier, but yeah, Soho, NoHo. And then we'll go through Times Square. And then once we got to Times Square, I kind of noticed like a blister forming on my foot. I was wearing a pair of shoes I've never ran in before because influencer life. And they were a little big. And so I ended up being like, yo, I have to get in a Dwayne Reed right now, and like so that this doesn't turn into a blister. So we found a Dwayne Reed in Times Square, popped in, got some blister band-aids and some athletic tape, taped up my foot, and then ran back across 2 or 3 avenues to the Adidas flagship store so that we could attend the Shakeout Run. And turns out, so it's going to start at 9:15. So we ended up having to like stand around for like 45 minutes in the cold, and we were like really wet. So that was tough. There were a lot of people there, which was cool, but I was soaking wet, and it was like 40 something degrees. So that was really uncomfortable. And I was like, my legs are going to fall off. My lips are blue. I'm going to faint. Luckily, like 9:30 we started. So we ran up to Central Park. We ran to Bethesda Fountain, took a big group photo, and then headed back to the store. So we ended up getting 2 hours and 20 minutes, but we had a big break, that hour-long break between the final 5K, and so I would say like an hour and 30 between that and 2 hours, maybe like an hour 40-ish, hour 50, and then the final 5K. So yeah, that happened. And then Sunday, I live on the marathon course, and one of my favorite traditions for the last decade is you wake up and you run the course. Of course, we're mindful of them setting up. We don't go through we stay out of people's way, and lots of runners are out. It's like the best. It's my favorite part. It's also very early. We take off right when the sun rises, and they're barely setting up. So we did 60 minutes on the course, which was so nice and so fun. It's my favorite thing about marathon day. And then we ended up also doing an hour and 17 minutes later in the evening because one of our athletes, Kelly, just had like a series of events happened and needed support. And so myself and then my New York City co-leader, Jess and Kayla co-lead Bad Athletic Gang New York City. Me and Jess took off to go head up to where Harlem and the Bronx meet to pick up Kelly and run her. This was after the sweep. We ran with her from the top of Harlem to the finish. So that was fun, and obviously a full day of cheering. We started from 9 o'clock through probably like 1 something. We were on 4th Avenue, right around 7.3-ish. And then we hopped on the subway, went up to Central Park to 96th and 5th Avenue. And then we cheered there from Bad Athletic Gang cheered there as well from 3 up until like until me and Jess and Kelly came through, and then everybody jumped in and we ran the final like 2-3 miles together, which was amazing. And we sang songs. I love our Badass Lady Gang. We are such a cool community. It's just always so meaningful to me to see all of our athletes. We had so many first-time marathoners this time around. We had so many people just like crushing their races and showing up. We had so many people supporting. It just means a lot to know that like we're a crew who is out there all the way till the end, who is on the course like for those last finishers. We're not just going to Project Finish, but it was also fun to go to Project Finish. Though I'm like deeply disappointed with how things have shaken out with the New York City Marathon finish. First, I want to say I fully understand that this is like a nightmare logistically. I know the New York Roadrunners is trying to corral 50,000 people. I know it's a long day. I know everyone's working really hard and they're corralling volunteers. But years and years ago, Stephanie she founded this thing called Project Finish because there was a year where she was like the only one at the finish line for these final finishers. No one was there. The lights were off. So she made a video and the next year vowed that like, we're going to make this the thing and we're going to show up for the final finishers. Once the finish line goes dark, officially, once the final like cutoff happens, they turn the lights off, even though people are still coming through. So the second the lights turn off, we are there. And so it was much earlier, like 7-ish. But the last 2 years, they've done this thing where we're not allowed to go back to the finish line until like 8 o'clock. So there's this like 2-hour window of people who are finishing after the cutoff, but without support at the finish. And the New York Roadrunners now, a couple years ago, saw how bad they looked, that they weren't supporting Project Finish. And they still, like, Project Finish is not affiliated with the New York Roadrunners. Stephanie still, like, out of the goodness of her heart is like out there trying to make it happen. And the race now supports the final finishers, but they've kind of stolen it. And without any like acknowledgement to Stephanie, which like Stephanie is the loveliest. And she's like, I don't want this to be my job. It's just like something I like to do. And I'm like, I don't care. You did this. You deserve credit. You're incredible. Because she is. And I don't know. I don't like that. Like when we were with Kelly, the race has finished. Like we're past the cutoff and we're with her. We're on sidewalks for a bit on Central Park West. And then get back in the street. And then they don't let us go to the finish line to see her finish. We have to then, because it was like 7:10, 7:20, 7:30-ish, we had to go go away and then go back to the finish for Project Finish at 8. I don't know. I just feel like it's gotten too complicated and I don't like the red tape that they're setting up. I know they're trying to break down. I know they're trying to do stuff. I know they're doing the best they can, but it bums me out. This is like the second year in a row that this happened. Last year it happened too, where like, I don't know. There's just like, I think the thing that frustrates me is the lack of communication about it, right? Like we've been doing this for years where we've been supporting our athletes who are back of the pack. So like we kind of have these like systems in place to support them and to be with them and to make sure that like we're there to cheer for them as they cross the line. And then they just like bait and switched and like changed things up without communicating that to us, which sucks. So I don't know. I'm like, luckily Jeannie was like, it's not worth it to fight with people about this. Like, let's just wait until Project Finish starts. And then we hung out at Project Finish for an hour. 9 o'clock is my cutoff for the marathon. I'm normally so tired by that point. Like we've been up since 5 o'clock. We've been on the course for 12 hours. It is the longest day. I feel good, especially now that Project Finish is this giant thing and there's like hundreds of people there. I feel good about like stepping away and not staying the last sometimes hour and a half. So we left at 9 and then got on the train to head back to Brooklyn and checked our watches. And we were over 22 miles for the day, which is like so fucked up that a piece of me is like, is it wrong that I want to go for a 4-mile run right now to get to 26.2? And I'm like, you're insane. Don't do that, you nut job. So yeah, that was my week of training. It was long. It was hard. It was not what I wanted it to be. And now this week is not shaping up what I want it to be either, which is okay. It is what it is. You know, like life comes first. You know, I always say the same thing to my athletes, like running needs to support your life. Your life is not revolving around your running. So that's what's happening right now. I have to listen to my body. I feel so tired. Like, I honestly have no juice. I have nothing from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed yesterday and today. I just like feel so dead inside and so anxious and scared and sad and freaked out. But week 10, we're here. This is peak week. Here's my schedule. Monday, rest day. Tuesday, 60 minutes conversational pace. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. I did 40. Wednesday, 60 minutes. I'm going to do pickups and strength work. Thursday, I have a workout. So 30 minutes at threshold pace, 2 minutes of recovery, and then 4x2 minute, 200 meters at repetition pace with 200 meter recovery. Friday is going to be cross training. So cycling and then strength. Saturday, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Sunday, 60 minutes. I want this to happen. So I just need to like eat food. Like I feel like I don't even want to eat because I'm so freaked out. So like I'm just like trying protein drinks, yogurt, like I'm just smoothies. I'm just trying to get stuff down. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. We'll wake up with some good news. But yeah, stressful. Yeah, for anyone who's listening to this in real time, big news. The Badass Lady Gain training team is now officially on sale. Normally we do a Black Friday sale, but I hate Black Friday sales. So I pitched that this year, in lieu of just doing a 4-day sale, that we make our sale from November through December 31st. So for the next 2 months, you can join the Badass Lady Gain training team at a huge discounted rate. More information is linked down below in my bio. You can also check out all the training experiences that we have coming up. They are all available at an early bird rate. So we come the last week of December, we're doing an 8-week Become a Runner training experience, which we've never done before. So hopefully people sign up, because if they don't, I'm going to cancel it. But I think people will sign up. So an 8-week Become a Runner training experience. We're doing the 8-week Get Stronger and Faster training experience. So if you're looking to get faster, build speed, build strength, build confidence, that is for you. And then we also have a March half marathon training experience. So all 3 of those training experiences are in the early bird phase. Once we're a month before the starting of those dates, they will exit the early bird registration field. Oh my goodness. Am I okay? They will no longer be available at their early bird rate, their discounted rates, and they will be full price. More information is linked down below. So don't miss your opportunity to save some cash. But if you're looking to do more than one training experience next year, look into joining the team. The team gets access to all of our training experiences. You get multiple coaching calls with me every single week where we're talking about your training. We're adjusting your plan. We're talking about what's working, what isn't working. We're talking through the mental side of things. You get our journals. You get a live strength session with Coach Amanda. You get her strength video library with hundreds of videos in it. You get a 15% off discount coupon for merch. You get lots of great stuff when you're on the team. So check that out. That's a wrap. That's all I got. The end. I'll talk to you guys next week. Kick ass, take names. Go vote. I know this is, you're going to listen to this and you're going to have already voted in support of women. So thank you for doing that. Bye, everybody.